Hey guys, this is Zakis. I wanted to make a video showcasing my favorite class in Planetside 2, the Engineer. That's what I usually play, and I figured it would be helpful for people just picking up the class or new players who want to play an Engineer. Keep in mind that I'm mostly just going to be going over my loadouts that I like to use, and it is my opinion, so obviously go with how you want to play, and there is some variation to things. So just try stuff out. In the station cash store shop, you can have trial weapons, so it allows you to try all the different weapons and get a feel for what you like. Anyway, I'm gonna start right off the bat with my primary weapon. The Engineer uses carbines, which it actually shares with the light assault, which is pretty cool. But there's a ton of carbines, about 6 or 7, I believe, that you can use on the Engineer, which is evident in this list. I have not unlocked all of them. You start off with the Solstice, which is a pretty decent all-around weapon, and you can unlock a few in the store. I believe you have the Solstice and the Pulse RC at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken. And they're both pretty solid weapons. I like to use the VX67 though. Also, I like to make a note when it comes down to it, the VX67 and the Serpent, which they released a couple of weeks after the game went live, is pretty much the same gun. It's just slight variation in reload speed and firing rate, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to get down to my specific loadouts with the different weapons. I also use, besides the carbine, the Engineer can use the new released SMGs, which is the Eridani SX5 for the Vanu Sovereignty, and the battle rifle of the Vanu Sovereignty, which is the Eidolon. I use all three of these weapons right here. I also use the night vision scope a lot. I use it on a lot of my weapons because it's very easy to see stuff. It doesn't have a long range though, but the weapon doesn't have a long range, so it's not a big deal. And it's very easy to acquire targets and whatnot. Besides using the night vision scope, for my rail I use the advanced laser sight, which greatly increases hip fire accuracy, which makes it very easy to fire on people in close quarters without you don't have to use your rails and whatnot. It tightens the targeting reticule a lot when you get up to the advanced laser sight, which is 2 tiers, so it's going to cost you some certs. Altogether 200 certs right here. And I also tried out a few other things like forward grip, which decreases the recoil, horizontal recoil. But on top of that, I also used the soft point ammunition, which definitely helps out in medium and close range. I seem to take people down with less shots when I use it versus not using it. I haven't worked out the exact math on that, but it definitely helps. People are saying it's actually bugged in Game Update 2. I haven't noticed a problem with it, but that's just me. And then, of course, you got your different camos. So I use this as basically my all-around weapon, what I'm generally carrying and whatnot. Obviously, the SMG just came out a couple days ago with Game Update 2, probably like a week ago. But this gun is pretty slick. It's very, very effective in close quarters, so I like to use it inside biolabs, when you're going from building to building in very close corners fight. And obviously I use the night vision scope as well again, and I've been throwing the advanced laser sight on it as well to tighten the reticle again without having to do that. And I'm also thinking about getting self point to make it even more effective. There's a ton of different scopes you can get for it. You can also get an extended magazine, which adds 10 ammo to the clip, because the clip size is pretty small. You run through it pretty fast with the fire rate that this thing has, because it fires pretty fast. When I get into any sort of long range engagements, I like to use the Eidolon, which basically equipped with what I use, the ×6 scope, makes it a sniper rifle. So you're basically an engineering sniper. But you're definitely going to need a forward grip, which helps decrease the recoil, and you're going to need a compensator, which reduces your vertical recoil, because if you do not have a compensator is a big thing. If you do not have a compensator, and you're zoomed in, the recoil is going to be atrocious. It's going to be really horrible. So those are all the main weapons that I use for my engineer. As for the secondary weapon, the standard beamer, I pull it out when I have to because most of the Vanu weapons have very small clip sizes. So it comes in handy if you're, you didn't have a chance to reload and you run out of ammo in your main weapon. But I don't really focus on it too much. I haven't unlocked anything for it. I also have not tried out the other pistol inside the cash shop. But I'll continue on to your main tool as an engineer, which is your nano armor kit. Basically, your repair tool. You shoot it at things and it fixes the machine spirits. And you can repair maxes and vehicles and stationary turrets and whatnot with this thing. It is definitely worth upping the certs for it. The final tier costs 500, which I have not gotten around to using yet or purchasing yet. But it makes the repair rate quicker as you go up in the ranks of the certification. So enough said about that. You got your standard force blade for the Vanu, and then you have your ace tool, which lets you create your turret, as well as an ammo kit, which I will talk about more in a second here. The mana turret I find is not as useful as it should be. Hopefully they'll do some work on it and improve its usability. But basically, people like to call it a sniper sign, or basically a headshot sign, because it has a nice neat space right here in the middle on the shield of the weapon where your head is, basically, where you look through. And so it makes you a perfect target for snipers, on top of the giant green shield being a rocket magnet as well as a grenade magnet. But it is useful in certain situations, inside, in certain choke points and whatnot. And it is useful if you can get it deployed quickly, because it's kind of finicky in terms of it has to be very flat terrain. It's useful for quick cover because it can take a few hits if you're kind of stuck out there. But with your ace tool, you can also press B on your keyboard and switch to ammo pack and throw out your ammo pack. Here's a tricky thing, because in your utility slot you can also carry your ammunition package, which is what you start out with when you first start the game. You start carrying this in your utility equipment. But again, you can also drop it using this thing. The great thing about that is you leave your utility slot open to carry other things like tank mines and proximity mines, which is fantastic. And recently with Game Update 2, they made it so the ammunition package you drop with your ace tool recognizes the certs that you put into your ammunition package. For instance, I have 4, which increases the radius that it resupplies people and increases the duration that the ammo pack is on the ground. So you can now put down an ammo pack with your ace tool, and it will use the cert rank that you have, which is amazing. Because for the longest time it dropped rank 0 ammo pack or whatever, which was not helpful. Anyway, going back to the loadout, you have your suit options. I use nano weave armor, which increases your general health. There's many different kinds. You have a shield capacitor, which reduces the recharge delay. You have an ammunition belt, which lets you carry additional magazines for your weapons, which you don't really need as an engineer because you carry your own ammo pack. Flak armor reduces explosive damage, which I've been thinking about starting into, seeing as how I carry grenades and mines around and near explosives a lot. Your bandolier for grenades lets you carry a maximum of 2 additional grenades, so you can carry 3 altogether. And then there's a nano weave armor, which I had inserted into, and in your utility pouch, which lets you carry more C4. A lot more, actually, if you cert all the way into it, but it's expensive cert-wise. So there's that. There's also grenades. You can carry your standard frag grenade or sticky grenades, which is an engineer thing that you can, again, cert into and spend points on. Which are actually, as of Game Update 2, a week ago, working. Because Before that, they didn't really stick to too much, but now I've noticed I can actually stick it. When you drop it, when you throw it, it actually sticks to the ground. It sticks to wherever you throw it. And I've been able to actually stick it on people, which is quite hilarious. And very effective. And then finally we have our utility section here with tank mines, proximity mines, and ammo package. But now I don't have to carry the ammo pack, so I usually carry tank mines or proximity mines, whatever the situation warrants for it. Tank mines are very effective, obviously, taking out any type of vehicles. One way that everyone uses them a lot if they play engineer is to take down enemy sunders. This is a sunder with the AMS, which is the Advanced Mobile Station. It lets you spawn on top of this vehicle. So when you pull up your map for deployment, it'll let you spawn on said vehicle right here. The tank mines are actually proximity mines. So when you drop them, what a lot of people do is they'll crash land or whatever by an enemy sunder, and they'll get out before anyone can shoot them and drop the tank mines. And basically, if this was an enemy sunder, this thing would take about a second or two to activate. It would detect the sunder, regardless of the fact that it's moving or not, that's stationary, and it would blow up, blowing the enemy sunder to Kingdom Come and whoever's in the very close vicinity, which is awesome for getting some certs and taking out the sunder, denying the enemy spawn point. I don't know whether it'll change that or not, but that's what it is. You can also obviously mine roads and main approaches to bases and whatnot to take out tanks. But you can also, if you're feeling brave, run around and try to run up to enemy tanks and drop mines on them, which will kill them. If you drop, I think, all 3 of your mines. I believe 2 actually kills them, but I drop all 3 on the sunder and whatnot just to make sure. It might be overkill, but who cares? Next up, you have, which I will actually switch to, you have your proximity mines, which, as they sound, are anti-infantry mines, which you can put wherever, inside, all over the place. Very effective as motion sensors, which I really like. In certain areas, if you have a small squad and you know there's a huge force inbound or whatever, you're trying to defend like a big structure, like a biolab or whatever, you can throw them near teleporters or wherever, and as soon as somebody comes out of it, bam, you know the enemy is coming through the teleporter or whatnot, etc., etc. Which you can also see in your map, but it's another good warning indicator. The other thing I'd also like to note with that is you can have your 2 proximity mines and your 3 tank mines out at the same time. So you can throw out 5 mines altogether, which makes it awesome to chain mines together. For instance, in biolabs, you can put a proximity mine at the top of the stairs and tank mines down all the way down the length of the stairs. And then, say an enemy squad runs in there. The first guy to get to the top, while all his buddies are up on the stairs behind him, will trigger the proximity mine, which will set off the other mines and basically blow everything to Kingdom Come, which is quite hilarious. So that makes it very useful, and it's a very nifty idea that they let you have all the mines out at once, which makes sense. I also have the restoration kit, which I never really used, but it's basically like a small health pack in case you can't find a medic and you really need health. There's a restoration kit and a regeneration kit. This will let you, the restoration kit, obviously, as you can see here, will let you regenerate a portion of health over time. It's a single-use item. You have to spend resources on it, which actually you have to spend resources on mines and grenades as well, which is your infantry resource here, which you gain from certain bases on the map. You gain different resources, which I'll show you here. You can turn on all these things here and see what hexes give what resources. So if we turn these other 2 off, you can see that, for instance, this set of hexes right here gives you 5 infantry resources. I believe it's every 5 minutes. I don't remember the exact time. But if you have enough of them, it doesn't really matter. You do go through those resources pretty quickly if you're mining stuff like crazy and using them and actually blowing people up and whatnot. after you buy them, though, you don't automatically get them. You have to go back to a station, which I don't have my Sunder anymore, so I'd have to go back to a resupply station of sorts, or a loadout station, and change that around. It would resupply your. Now that you bought the mines, it'll resupply your mines when I get back there. Anyway, the only other stuff is basically appearance, which is all your type of customizable stuff. I have a different helmet for my engineer. Obviously has extra armor, which I think makes it look cool. Just a few extra pieces here and there. And then your camo, and whatever decal you want to use, because there's a million for ranks and whatnot, and then you can buy them from the station store with the station cash and whatnot. So that's basically an overview of what I use on my engineer every day, depending on the situation and whatnot. You can also, I'd like to make a note, you can buy C4 for just about every class, I believe. So you can use C4 as well on your engineer if you want to purchase it. I don't use it. I like the mines. I don't really have a problem blowing stuff up. I think I have more than enough explosives, so I'd never buy the C4. A lot of people like to use it on their light assault instead because you have jetpacks, obviously. But anyway, as I was saying before, when you get back, I bought 2 tank mines, and now I'm at this station here. I don't have any on me. I still have my proximity mines, but I switched my loadout to tank, and then I go up here and I press resupply, and now I have my tank mines. So it's just twofold. You have to spend the resources, and you have to go resupply at a station. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. If there's any comments, criticisms, let me know. Thanks for watching.